First of all, Coach, congratulations on the win over Washington State and the 3-0 start. What an atmosphere at that game. Talk about what it felt like. 57,000 fans. We don't see that at Qualcomm Stadium for an Aztecs game too often.
Well, I thought it was pretty special. I thought the fans filled the stadium. They were loud. They were into the game. I thought the student section was unbelievable. Reminded me of the basketball season, and I actually think it made a difference. It's the first time I felt like we had a home field advantage, and we were struggling a little bit in the third quarter, and I think their energy and their excitement helped us get over the hump.
Yeah, it seemed like the more people came into the stands and filled things up by the fourth quarter, that's when you guys played your best football. It wasn't, I don't know, you looked at the film, tell us what you thought, but for 60 minutes it wasn't a perfect success, but for the final 15 minutes, it was about as good as it gets.
Well, I thought we played pretty well on offense. I thought we controlled the ball. We kept the ball away from them. We ran it pretty well. What we didn't do was take care of the ball. You know, we'd gone 2 games without a turnover. We fumbled the ball. We threw an interception in scoring position. So we turned the ball over a little bit, but the offense moved the ball pretty well all day. The defense, I thought, played really, really well most of the day except for 2 plays, and those were 2 80-yard touchdowns, so that put a little bit of a damper on it, but I thought they hung in there pretty good.
You were very adamant last week, Coach, that playing a BCS school didn't really mean anything to you, all Division I. How about beating a BCS school? Does that mean anything more to you now that you've got the win? Is that a feather in the team's cap, or is same story as last week?
Well, I think that it was a big win for our football team, but I don't think it's any bigger just because they're from the Pac-10 or 12 or whatever it's called now. You know, because of some of the streaks in the past, we broke some of those streaks, but I think it's Division I playing against Division I.
I thought one of the nice things in that game was you guys got down 10 points in the third quarter, and Andy Ludwig, yourself, you guys are your offensive coordinator. You guys did not go away from Ronnie Hillman. You kept running him, and there's a danger, I guess, when you get down by 10 to try and get it all back at once, but Ronnie Hillman was your meal ticket back into that game, and that certainly paid off by the fourth quarter because that's when he ran his hardest.
Well, Ronnie's a special talent, and I mean, as long as you're within striking distance, you're liable to get a 50 or 60-yard run from him that puts you right back in the game as much as completing a pass. So, you know, it doesn't take a real smart guy to keep giving him the ball.
There's been, now this weekend after that performance, some Heisman talk, a little bit about Ronnie Hillman. We know the difficulty about getting publicity out here on the West Coast for a Heisman hopeful, but in your mind as his coach, do you think he has what it takes to at least be one of the guys considered if he continues to play like this?
Well, I don't know how that works, and I don't know where that talk or all the information's coming from. I think he's a really good player, and I don't get to watch all the other running backs in the country. I know he's the best running back in our league. If that is something, the best running back in our league deserves that kind of publicity and that kind of hype, he deserves it.
Well, take it from us. He deserves to be in the conversation. We just don't know that they'll let him be in the conversation. Ronnie Hillman, number 2 in the nation in rushing right now, number 1 in touchdowns with 8. And San Diego State is 3-0. We're visiting with head coach Rocky Long. And, of course, the day you got the job, Rocky, probably one of the first 2 or 3 questions was, are you excited about the fact that you're going to get a chance to face Brady Hoke in Michigan? And now the game has arrived. It'll be this Saturday in the Big House, and they're 3-0. And I think that adds a little excitement to it. I'm glad they're 3-0. I'm obviously glad you're 3-0, but I mean, this really sets up as a lot of fun coming up.
Well, I think it's going to be a great game, and I think our team is excited about going to Michigan and playing in front of all those people, and we have great respect for them and their program. We know they have a great coach and coaching staff, and but I think our players are more excited about playing the Michigan football team and seeing how we compare, and it's going to be tough because they're pretty good, and it's going to be back there, but I think that our kids will handle it, and we'll play really well.
You talked about last week Washington State, the fastest team, the biggest team that you faced this season. Does that take another step up here against Michigan? Are they even faster? I mean, we've seen Denard Robinson. Are they even bigger coming out of the Big Ten?
They're bigger and stronger, and they're probably I don't think their receivers are any faster than Washington State's. They're very comparable. The biggest difference maker on their team's the quarterback. He's one of the fastest guys I've ever seen on film. He looks fast on TV. Nobody can tackle him. Yeah, he's the difference in their team and Washington State. If they didn't have him, they'd be very comparable.
You know, you talked about in the newspaper over the weekend, Coach, that Brady Hoke's going to have an advantage because he knows your kids. He recruited your kids. He knows everything that you like to do. He knows every thing that most of your players like to do. At the same time, I mean, can you find a little bit of an advantage going up against and matching wits with Al Borges? I mean, yourself as defensive coordinator at San Diego State, when he was the offensive coordinator, it's not like you don't know what Al Borges likes to do either. So is that a little sneaky advantage perhaps for you and the Aztecs?
Well, I think that Al and I know each other very well. I think our defense is unique, but he understands it better than anybody else in the country, so he'll have a good plan. Now, like you said, we've played against Al and his offense a lot since we've been together at two different schools. So we have a feel for what he wants to do, but they've changed a little bit since he's got that quarterback. That's really not what Al likes to do, but they're taking advantage of that quarterback's ability and doing some things that he doesn't normally do. Our biggest concern is them knowing our players really well, them knowing our signals when we call it, so they have an advantage knowing what the defense is before the ball's actually snapped. They have all those kind of advantages, but we're going to try to overcome every one of them.
How much of a chess match does it become? I know you never want to do something that you're not comfortable with, but do you try to go against some of your tendencies a little bit to maybe make that knowledge work against Brady Hoke and his staff in this game?
No, I think you do what you do best. Our biggest concern is that they know all our signals. So before the ball is snapped, they'll know what our defense is, they'll know what our coverage is, which gives the offense a much better chance to execute.
At the same time, though, you said this one's going to come down to the players, and that to me seems to be the beginning of your message this week, which is, hey, everyone's going to talk about Brady Hoke, everyone's going to talk about Rocky Long. We got to make this game about our players versus their players, and if our players play to their capabilities, then we can come out of there with a win.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, coaches can do all they want to do, but players are the ones that win and lose games, so if our players play better than theirs, we'll win.
Well, Coach, good luck on Saturday in the big house. Going to be a big atmosphere, big-time college football. And I think after this Saturday, your guys might be used to, a lot of fans in the stands. So it should be a fun one. We appreciate the time, as always. We'll talk to you next week.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you.